My marathon of retro gaming movies concludes with Final Fantasy Spirits Within. It's been an interesting marathon looking at this movie, so let's open this up. Coming off the success of best-selling video game series, this film was only the lone theatrical release of Square Pictures, but a series co-creator Hironobu Sakaguchi. While the PS2 is getting further ready for the release of Final Fantasy X, this ended up being the first and last attempt making virtual celebrities in film. This feature-length CGI animated film cost $137 million to make, another $30 million to market. Still, when it was released in July 2001, it definitely made its mark, just not in the ways you might expect. So, let's get started. After a training sequence on the alien world, was admittedly impressive visual at the time, we open on Dr. Aki Ross, voiced by Ming-Na, trying to find a life form in ruins in New York City in the year 2065. The animation may seem like a feature like cutscene nowadays, it was a bit beat off back in 2001. CGI animated films were not as common as they are now. Elliot Goldenthal's music is also quite good as well. As Aki shoots some plays over Times Square, we have some big Pepsi and Sony Pop plays overlooking the scene. Oh yes, in 2001, Sony still plugging themselves when movies they distributed. The flares attracted a bunch of beings known as phantoms, so a group of soldiers in masks. Aki finds a life form, which is apparently a small plant. It's also this exchange between Aki and female shoulder. They're surrounded. No shit! It's actually kind of funny. Aki joins the soldiers, and apparently their captain, Gray Edwards, was by Alec Baldwin, used to be in a relationship with her, much to her chagrin. And their unit also has Ryan Whitaker, voiced by Ving Rhames, Jane Proudfoot, voiced by Perry Gilpin, and Neil Fleming, voiced by Steve Buscemi. They return to the Bay Area in New York, which reminds me of Under the Dome by Stephen King. The Bay Area is meant to keep out the phantoms, but the crew still has to be scanned with traces of them. Gray is apparently infected, and Aki manages to dream just in time, playing some kind of VR precursor trauma center, only without the nurse bugging him by the vitals dropping. And Aki then meets with her mentor, Dr. Sip, voiced by Donald Sutherland, who apparently standard for many versions of Civ in the games. It turns out the plant is a sixth spirit they need to build a countermeasure against the phantoms. Dr. Sid also figured out the energy against the use of all technology to take for granted. He also gives Aki his journal, which contains information of a phenomenon known as Gaia, which is actually a real theory as well as the sort of counterpart to the legend of Final Fantasy VII. Sid then burns the journal, telling Aki to be careful. He cites that Galileo was jailed because he said the Earth was not the center of the universe. I know that feeling even today. We then get another dream of Aki with waves of aliens in some battle, and lots of stories flying around. After that, cut to a council meeting between Dr. Sid and our villain, General Hine. Guest being voiced by James Woods and dressing in black leather geared away. Hine wants to use an experimental weapon known as a Zeus cannon to try and wipe out the phantoms, which Dr. Sid wants to use a waveform pattern to cancel them out. Hine, of course, scoffs the idea. So, is this a Final Fantasy movie that I mistakenly put on C-SPAN? Aki is unable to show the wave pattern is doable as she shows evidence of her own body, much to Hine's outrage. So, the conflict of this movie is not as complex as it would be in some of the games. Since the hour and 46-minute long fetch quest for the next two spirits I need, even though I can understand how some people feel about the visuals, they're actually not that bad for the time. Very realistic, but maybe a bit too much for some people's tastes. Kind of replicants of Blade Runner, more human than human. We then run down the spirits we have so far. Aki was the first spirit, the second was a fish. The fourth was a bird, and the fifth is a deer found in Russia. The third was apparently a terminally ill little girl who passed on at only 7 years old. Aki sadly says she's ready to die. Cancer can do that to a person. Hine then orders Gray to keep an eye on Aki as she looks for the next spirit, as well as plans for his element and his unit with the help of Major Elliot, voiced by Matt Mackenzie. Wow. James was being even more obvious when he's on Family Guy. After the third dream sequence of the aliens, Aki and Gray travel to the wasteland of Tucson, Arizona, and the Southern Spirit in the backpack of one of their dead comrades. Apparently, this is part of a cleansing mission supposed to end the war. So, take off and nuke that second orbit like an aliens, huh? The air is also crawling with phantoms, including one that resembles a masked red dragon that claims one of the swords of tearing out their spirit. Well, that's one way to kill a veteran and still keep a PG-13 rating. Aki then gets the overpack, but she falls ill as one of the phantoms goes over a hillside. One of the moles then shoots Aki, but spirits all take him in one of the phantoms. So like one of my Star Trek reruns, even when they're a traitor, the Avenger can die with no real emotional guilt for the story. I also noticing a lot of blue and orange contrast to the phantoms of human spirits. Even in 2001, it's alarming how many movies and video games made use of that style. Hein then demands that Aki be arrested and Tender force like how to use his weapon. Hein may be crazy, but he's not really as good as some of the villains in the games. He's not as brooding as Sephiroth, or as gleefully mad as my favorite one, Kefka. Dr. Hersen has implanted 7 Spirit on Aki to save her and quest way as Smith expected grammar of this world. Of course, conveniently, it's the one soldier she used to date. Aki and Gray then meet one of her dreams. It's a very strange scene for this movie. Elsewhere, Hein's recording one of Aki's dreams and intends to convince the council further to use the Zeus cannon. Just as Aki realizes the truth about the Phantoms, everyone is captured. Hein then laments his wife and daughter were killed in San Francisco by Phantoms. While this is meant to invoke sympathy, it's much more uncomfortable given James Wood's indiscretions in recent years. Hein then decides to start messing around the Bay Area Control Center, which becomes a retool of the Mako Reactor and Shinra HQ from Final Fantasy VII. And probably do Evan to complete before the remake comes out, whenever that will be. As the Phantoms start invading New York, Hein and Elliot are aghast they can use the plumbing to move around, as no living thing can survive in those pipes. Exactly. No living thing can survive. Obviously, they're doing something that's dead. Moreover, Aki realizes the Phantoms are not aliens, but ghosts. Ghosts, Phantoms, spirits, or whatever you want to call them. They're still cooler than Jibanyan and Whisper and all those other overrated yokai. The Phantoms invade the city, and as Elliot is mortally wounded, Hein asks, "What have I done?" Well, I'd say you've opened Pandora's box. Good job. Aki, Gray, and the others are free when the prison loses power, and the barrier sees Vague's Phantoms invade. They're also visible now passing the barrier. Got an EX Fate Pass from Pokemon Go from pure random. Aki and Gray get topside and take a rough ride in ATV to find Aki's spacecraft still inside the city military hangar. That's convenient. And also in that 2065 New York City looks like some weird CGI fusion of Midgar, Coruscant, and Neo Tokyo. Though we may not directly adapt any one Final Fantasy game, but does use enough to create something of its own. It's still a thin script that's supposed to can damn it with faint praise. Neo then crashes in the hangar, losing one of the wheels of their truck. They find impaled some shrapnel. Ryan asks for one of the guns, and everyone else starts ready Aki's ship for takeoff. Neo makes this bait will fly itself. Of course. Wouldn't be a solid blockbuster without a ship that has autopilots. Neo then has to go down to disengage dogging clams while Jane stands guard. The Phantoms hit the deck, just as the ship is free and Neo's killed in the process. The Phantoms didn't have any cans of Folgers, but it'll do. Jane and sacrifices herself to buy Aki grades some time. I also find it odd that Ayok Ball was still a bitch line essentially by gunfight, and I can say that PJ the team knows is fine. With one final shot, Ryan's able to buy just enough time to escape before she consumed by the Phantoms. For once, a black soldier isn't the first one to die. Now, as we enter the final act, Aki must find the last spirit and Heinz will grant permission to fire the Zeus cannon from the council by murder voiced by Keith David. While this movie had many acclaimed actors giving their voices and likenesses, it's probably the most underutilized in this movie. It's like Courtney B. Vance and in New Mummy. You can tell they're trying, there's not much you can do with the writing isn't there. Aki and Gray then had to go down to the Phantom Crater to find the last spirit, which they posited as a Phantom spirit. Not the most original idea, but the movie's almost over, so I'll be fine. At the same time, Hein tires Zeus cannon over the Phantom Crater in the Caspian Mountains. So the Zeus is basically our Death Star, more recently Starkiller Base. He's made all the best early 2000s CGI money can buy. The final spirit has seemingly been destroyed, but it also reappears before Gaia. Guess I had a Phoenix down, and enough experience point to level up. Wonder if Gaia also has a save file backup on memory card. Aki's able to complete the wave just in time as Zeus self-destructs, killing Hein. Gray sacrifices himself to complete the mission. So, there's just 2 main cast members away from going full Rogue One. So we close on a bittersweet ending. While many have died, including Aki's companions, a beacon of light shoots in the sky before Mother making them popular and life has been restored to Earth. This film, which was written, produced, and directed by series co-creator Hironobu Sakaguchi, was arguably the biggest attempt at that time to recreate the success of video game series and film. However, it found out being a massive failure at the box office of its opening very competitive summer. Some of these films include the original Shrek, Pearl Harbor, Speaking Spoilers AI, the original Fast and Furious, and Disney's Atlantis Lost Empire. It wound up at number 4, beneath the family comedy Cats and Dogs, The Heist from the Score, and Reese Witherspoon comedy Legally Blonde, making like $32 million in the US and $85 million worldwide. It doesn't have the Lara Croft Tomb Raider that came out the same summer, but that's a matter of another day, especially since Square's handling the reboots. The film also caused Sakaguchi to leave Square, made Square itself lose the dominance of the RPG genre, and was a key factor in delaying their merger with Enix. Still, the film may not be a masterpiece, but it's far from the worst one I've ever seen. It is visually stunning for the time, and even though trying visual edges didn't really win anywhere, as a precursor to Roberts and Zemeckis working on similar films that have motion capture technology become more complex in film video games years that followed. It's also a different side of the coin of video game movies. While the previous ones, Marathon adapted from games to have much plot to fill feature-length film, Final Fantasy is arguably one of the more elaborate video game stories to adapt, so Gooch basically had to make a totally unique story that's played within the same fictional universe. After all these years, very little has changed about that. Even movies that just take influence from video games end up being quite divisive. Hell, many people were excited for Ready Player One. I'm so skeptical about that, so I did this marathon instead. Still, as this marathon draws to a close, it's interesting to see the journey these movies have taken, much of the games are based on. They've gone from simple stories of one saving the world or princess to narratives that can movies in playable form. Likewise, I started with a film in the camp in the late 1980s, went through the first bit of craze in the 1990s, and ended on the new reality of high-tech fever dream that officially began the new millennium. I do not know what form many of these games, movies based on them will take in the near future, but regardless of what happens, I'll be the way to success and capacity, whether it could be silly like Tomb Raider or lively like Rampage, or I'll be there in some way. Overall, solid film a close marathon with. My final rating is he started out at 4. My next marathon will be looking at the Indiana Jones film, starting with The Lost Ark, and Indiana Kingdom goes to Skull in May. That'll be all for now. Later.